James.
My name is Cindy.
My name is Katie.
Herman.
Francisco.
My name is Isaac.
I'm Lizzie.
And Michelle.
My name is Alex.
Hey, I play guitar.
Play the violin.
Trumpet and guitar.
I play guitar and trombone.
I play classical piano, I play jazz piano, I am learning how to play soprano saxophone, I am horribly incompetent at clarinet, and I would say that's about what I can do, I guess.
I play the tuba, piano, and guitar.
I play the French horn and a bit of trumpet.
Piano.
I play the viola.
I play flute, piccolo, and guitar.
I started to learn the piano at the local music academy, and I learned the guitar and the tuba at my school.
I started when I was 5, and essentially it wasn't really my choice. My parents planned that one.
I started, I was in 4th grade when they started instrumental music classes, and I just decided to do it. My parents said I could.
In 4th grade, when a music teacher at my school asked him to.
I started guitar about 6 years ago. I saw my cousin playing it and I thought it would be really fun. I was given my first guitar when I was about 5. I took up lessons in year 3 because the school encouraged music quite a lot. We had brass lessons with the whole class in year 5 and 6, and I took up private trombone lessons after that in year 7.
I began in 4th grade when it was offered as like a little extracurricular thing.
So I've played classical piano since I was like 4 or 5, so that's like forever. It's been more than 10 years, and I've always loved that. I love listening to classical music, I love playing classical music. There's just so much artistry, you can see what the composer is doing, and you kind of put that, you get some of the soul of that, and you can let that flow through you. You feel really powerful because you're doing something that's probably much more beautiful than what you could have come up with on your own. But then a couple years ago when I was in 7th grade, my middle school band teacher introduced me to jazz. He's a great jazz saxophonist, and playing with him was a huge privilege, but his passion for music really got me excited. He taught me how to play jazz piano based on his limited jazz piano skills, and I've really taken off from there. I taught myself some stuff, I've used the internet, I listen all the time, and I've just started taking some jazz lessons. So jazz is a different kind of power than classical music in that it's coming straight out of you. You're not the intermediary, you're the creator, and it's generally a lot of improvisation, which is cool. You have to think on the spot, and if you screw up, that's the point, because basically, as Jamie Aebersold said, he's a jazz educator, he said that if you play on the wrong note, the right one is always 1/2 step away in either direction. So if you screw up, that's part of the fun, and you can just sort of express yourself. But I guess playing jazz couldn't happen without playing classical music for so long, because being a jazz pianist means you gotta do a lot of theory and know what it is, and not have to think about it at a certain point. So it's a mixture of both spontaneity, but also there's a lot of thought that goes into it, which is really nice.
I started in 4th grade. I took instrumental music as one of my classes or electives, and I just kept playing the instrument from then to now. I still play it.
Well, flute. I actually wanted to play trumpet in 4th grade. Yes, I had no idea what it was called, so I got stuck with flute. And in middle school, there was a piece that we could play piccolo on, and so I volunteered. And guitar was just my own initiative.
Start playing. Okay, I need an origin story now. I'm going to come up with this real fast. Basically, when I was really little, my parents had me in this Mommy and Me music class. It was the cutest thing, where we would sing the melodies and clap and stuff and learn rhythms and stuff. That was really nice. But I've always loved music, I guess, even before I could play it. And I guess when I was 4 or 5, my mom put me in piano lessons with this old Asian lady. But it was really nice, and I learned a lot.
Because music is throughout my entire family. My mom was part of one of the best marching bands in Pennsylvania in her high school, and frankly, I was more interested in getting about an hour off my classes every Thursday to go and play. But after years of piano and singing in the church choir, I was excited and I thought that I would be able to pick up another instrument.
My parents made me.
Well, I mean, they gave the option in elementary school, so they said you have to at least try 1 year. So I tried it and I liked it, so that's simple.
Because my dad always had wanted that I play piano, so they essentially bought a piano before I was born. And yeah, so I was they just wanted me to play piano, I guess.
I decided to do it because I thought it would be fun.
I started playing guitar because I was diagnosed with a genetic disorder, so I had to stop playing sports.
Because I really do like music and I've always wanted to play an instrument, and I thought violin would be good.
I decided to start playing guitar because I enjoyed listening to my uncle and he played really well, and I wanted to be able to play like that. And trombones have really cool slidey things, and that appeals to 10-year-olds.
I just thought it'd be really cool to play an instrument, and I thought viola was an instrument that isn't like really commonly played, and I thought it's sort of like the violin except it's much cooler. So I thought the viola was a pretty good choice for me, and I just wanted to start that.
I picked trumpet because I want to be different. That's something that is very important to me. Like, whenever Halloween comes, I'm not going to be a witch. I'm going to be like a Teletubby or something that nobody's ever heard of. And so, let's face it, most trumpet players are boys. And so that was one thing to make myself different. But I felt like the trumpet really reflected who I am as a person. It's loud and it's bold and borderline annoying sometimes, but I felt that the trumpet would be a huge indicator of like who I am as a person, and so that's why I picked that, because it's kind of who I am.
For piano, I like to play classical music because I find it the most interesting, but I also listen to a bunch of different types of music.
I mean, on the viola, it's usually just classical music. I'm in an orchestra, so we usually play classical music, but we also play like some modern music, like romantic era, and like, yeah.
I really enjoy playing all sorts of styles of guitar, and I'm really into death metal trombone.
I like to play the big classical hits, things that are like romantic period music, really, really nice.
I guess I like to play jazz music. I like to play pop music and stuff that I'm familiar with.
I like to play rock music and a lot of solos.
Classical music, since he plays the violin.
A great jazz musician once said that you cannot disparage any type of music unless you've thoroughly mastered it and then discovered that you don't like it that much. That's not a real quote, that is a paraphrase. So I really like all types of music. I love playing classical music, especially sort of the romantic period, the impressionists like Debussy. I like Chopin and people like that. I've never really liked Bach, but there's an austere beauty in that I can appreciate. And I really love jazz. Jazz is probably my favorite. I like playing modal tunes because there's not a lot of changes to think about, but then there's a lot of harmonic stuff you can do with it. I love the music of people like Wayne Shorter or people like that who play with the chord changes and do stuff you wouldn't expect, but then it sounds good in the end. So that's some of my favorite stuff to play.
For me personally, dedicating myself to an instrument hasn't been hard. I really enjoy both the instruments I play.
Definitely hard for me to actually commit myself to practicing. Not because I don't like it, but mainly because I have other things that, quite frankly, I'm a little more committed to. So, yeah, but it's not that I don't like it. I just have to find the time to do it.
It's never been particularly hard for me. I didn't have anything else to do. My sports were taken away, so music was what I chose.
No, not at all. Not at all. No, it's just not. It's really not.
In some ways it has, because it's a lot of commitment. You have to practice, you have to go to like rehearsals and like orchestras and whatever, but it's definitely worth the time because I learned a lot and I grew a lot as a musician.
Not really. It's just it's something that I really enjoy doing, to express myself through the music, and so it hasn't been hard to take a little time to practice just to make sure that I'm staying on top of things.
Sometimes because I can't like find time to practice a lot.
Yeah, I'm kind of a busy person, so it's hard for me to find time to practice like every day. But basically, I love it enough that I'll just sit down and play a little bit. I do hand generally every day because it's like weightlifting for your hands, and you kind of need to do that stuff to maintain your facility, as they say. In terms of practicing, I don't practice as much as I would like to, but I practice enough that I'm always continually getting better and I'm learning new stuff, which is really nice. I started playing saxophone over winter break. I always wanted to learn how to play soprano sax, but I never actually had a soprano sax. Now that I do, that was my one Christmas present generally. It's two ways I can practice that. I'm very excited enough that I'll actually sit down and practice it every day, but I don't have to practice for that long because I can just do exercises for 15 minutes and that's enough practicing for me. So I'm just sort of starting out. It's not any pressure like there might be if I was doing piano competitions or something like that. So that one I just do it because it's fun to see how much progress I can make. And one day I sound much better than I did the day before. It's like an exponential growth in that case. So it's fun to see that sort of progress.
I think the first part is hard because there's that, well, the first part it's sort of a little fun, but then there's that learning curve and you don't really want to play anymore. And then I don't know if it's just me, but I think a lot of people go through this stage where you get confused whether you really want to play or you don't. I mean, I kept continuing one because I wasn't allowed to stop, but like I think now that I sort of appreciate that my parents made me do it only because now I just love it.
Music plays a big role in my life. When you take those little what kind of learner are you tests, I always get music.
It's probably like top notch right there. It's like music is life type of thing. I mean, you see my little ring, you see this is like a heart with the G clef and the F clef. These are music notes. Like, I love music. Okay, let's just put it that way.
Music has quite a big place in my life. I take a lot of time to practice and I'm almost always listening to something.
It's the only thing I do with my life, really.
Yeah. Music is kind of my secondary thing I do, hobby, other than art, because my sports were taken away. My genetic disorder makes it so I can't do much. Even playing guitar now is harder. But yeah.
It's just a huge part of who I am and how I express myself and the certain things that I do. It's helped me put myself out there, and it's helped me establish talent that I can show off.
Well, music, it's made a pretty big impact on my life because I just feel like it helps me. I don't know, sometimes when I feel like stressed or if I'm like bored or whatever, I just like take out my viola and I just like play on it to like relieve the tension and whatever. So it's a pretty important part of my life.
In my life, I listen to music all the time. I hear music in my head generally all the time. Basically, has a lot of important meaning for me. Whenever I have an emotion, usually there's music that goes with it. Whenever I go somewhere, I associate music with it. When my grandmother died, I heard about that. I was really sad, but the first thing that I did was I sat down to the piano and I played Chopin, and that was cathartic for me, if you like the word cathartic. It's just something that I've always connected with. it's almost like, it's like poetry. I've always loved poetry, writing poetry, reading poetry. Music is like poetry without words, which I think is a quote from somebody. So I've always connected with the emotionalness of it, but it's also like a sport, and I love playing sports too. You really have to work at it to get good at it, and it just comes over time, and you can see that you're capable of doing things that you didn't think you were able to do. So it has a very special place in my heart. I wish I could devote more time to it, but it already has a pretty decent time commitment in my life too.
I mean, it helps express like your feelings sometimes when you're playing, like depending on what you're playing, and I think that helps.
A big part because, I don't know, I've always loved music because it's not always easy to express feelings, and music's a big way to express feelings.
The worst thing I've experienced as a result of being involved in music is probably being forced to sight read music for the Remembrance Day Assembly only a few weeks after joining the orchestra and the school.
I don't think I've had like any bad experiences with music, but there was this one time in orchestra that we were playing a chord and I messed up and the whole orchestra heard, so that was pretty embarrassing, but I would say that it's definitely like manageable. Like that only happened once, so.
Basically, for years and years, for my piano teacher, I've done basically something called a guild. We memorize a heck of a lot of pieces and play them. And that was never pleasant, so that might be the worst thing, just because how many times I have to memorize pieces and then go play them for this random angry-looking judge. But the funniest thing happened to me was we did a duet competition. I played with my brother, which was both bad and good, because it's good because I can always practice with him whenever I want because he lives with me, but bad because he's my brother, and I don't want to have to fight with him over that because I never fight with my brother. But when we went to the competition, it was really funny. We come in and the whole people playing are these random little Asian kids who are horribly obnoxious, and their parents are horribly obnoxious too. And we were playing, and we were actually doing a really good job. We did a piece that was kind of jazzy, which was nice because everybody else played like Bach, which was boring. But my brother made a mistake and he felt bad and he was crying. But it turned out we won like 3rd place, so I was happy. But I also felt bad that he would be under stress like that. So I think music should never be something that makes you really stressed out. You should definitely devote a lot of work and time to it, but it should never be unpleasant for you.
Other people who've been trying to steal first chair constantly, mainly, and they just sit there because that's about it.
In 7th grade, we were playing What Makes You Beautiful in a jazz band. Or not the jazz band, the normal band, and I had a solo where, you know, the part where Harry gets quiet and sings by himself, and I had to stand up and do that. I didn't do very well, but I got through it, and I mean, there have been a couple times, like when I was 4, I had like a solo when I was singing in church, and I forgot some of the words, but it's been alright.
Well, we've had to pass tests to move on to more advanced music, and sometimes the songs are a little hard to play.
Okay, well, I think the worst thing is probably when it comes around the time for the musical and I have all state and all county at the same time. And yeah, preparing those auditions with the musical is tough. I hate that because it happens every year.
I have like really bad stage fright. When I've gone up on stage and I've completely blanked on what I had to do, and yeah, it was just like a mess. Like one time I was playing the Chopin Opus 10 No. 1 Etude, and towards the end I was really scared. I always shake, I hyperventilate, my hands get sweaty, I get red,
This is a reminder that the Morgan State University representative is waiting for you in the Career Center.
And I blanked on my left hand octaves, and my piano teacher literally had to come next to me, and she had to be like, Carmen, she was like, E, now go to G, and I was like, okay. It was bad.
As dumb as it sounds, I was subject to a lot of bullying for playing music rather than doing athletics or something else.
Have I overcome this difficulty? Well, I can't say that I did because I'm doing the same duet competition again, and this time with a different partner. But I guess we just go right back in, waiting to get punched in the mouth again.
Finding time, like during free period with my music teacher one-on-one so she can help me.
I'm still working towards that. It's not easy. But apparently my piano teacher said this my most recent recital, I actually didn't do that badly. I mean, I did mess up, but like I didn't do the whole freak out spazzy thing that I usually do, so.
I pretended to know what I was doing and moved the slide up and down.
I don't. I mean, I haven't made an All-State yet because of that. I've been getting bad chairs in All County.
My friends helped me get through it, just talking to me and stuff, and I talked to the music teacher about it, and he said it was pretty normal.
Well, I challenge them or something, or they challenge me and screw up, basically.
Let's see. Best thing? I would say the best thing for me is probably just being introduced to jazz, and that opened up a whole new world of music for me, which now is all I listen to. A lot of what I play is jazz, and that's just sort of been really life-altering for me. But I guess even in addition to jazz, probably composition, the best thing I'm able to do, because it takes a long time to get good enough at an instrument and at music theory to be able to compose. But once you can, it's really gratifying. If I hear something nice, I'm like, I can do that. Or if I feel a certain way, I'm like, I can write music about that. I can express something with that. Because when you're really little and you're just learning where your fingers go and what you should do, at a tongue or something like that, then it's not that gratifying. You feel like, what am I doing this for? But once you get to the point where you don't have to just deal with what everyone else has written and you can write music of your own, that's really gratifying too, I guess.
The best thing I've experienced as a result of being involved in music is probably having something in common with people, being able to join groups really easily.
This is going to sound contrary, but it's probably the musical, really, because the musical is really fun. So, I mean, I guess that's it. The musical is probably the best thing I've ever done with related to French horn.
I meet a lot of new people just sitting in the lunchroom playing my guitar. It's just a good conversation starter.
Like, thinking about the guitar, I've been able to, like, not really show off, but just, it's brought me and a lot of my friends together, and it's let us, I don't know, yeah, I've been able to show off what I'm good at and bring people together.
Meeting new people, definitely. Like, most of my friends, that's how I met them.
Probably performing at Carnegie Hall last weekend. I was in a quartet, and we were selected as like the first prize winners, and we got to perform at Carnegie Hall, and it was a really cool experience.
Probably that feeling when you've accomplished a challenge, when you've like been stuck on something for a long time, you finally hit the right note or something like that.
I went to this concert. It was we went to New York. This was over break. I went to New York, and we went to a real live jazz concert at a jazz club. It was one of my favorite pianists, Jeffrey Keezer, and his trio, and that was really awesome. Just you're like 10 feet away from them, and then they're just ripping it up, and they're having a lot of fun, and you're just like, this is what music is about right there, and it's so beautiful.
I guess the whole experience, like, you, just playing the music, like, just to listen to the music is just, I guess, the best part of it, because I guess you play for yourself in a way. You don't just play for other people, you really just play, I play for myself at least, and I like to hear the notes. I don't like to just listen to music on my iPod or whatever. I like to actually play it and be able to, what you do is you take the composer's work and you make it what the composer wanted, but you also leave a little piece of yourself in there. So you make it a little part, it's like, you make it like a shared work too. So you leave yourself there, and each person plays a piece differently. Not everybody plays Liszt's Die Strom the same, like in the same way. I just love it. I like to listen to it. I like to hear it when I play. I like to make it different. I like to play with the dynamics, the beat. That's what I like to do.
In Impressing people motivates me to keep practicing and working. I also want to challenge myself and see how much I can do.
Because I know I can get so much better. Every time I listen to a professional CD or look at some music that I haven't been able to play yet, and I'm like, I can definitely get so much better. I look back and I'm like, yeah, I've come a long way and I've gotten a lot better and I've done lots of stuff, but there's always more you can do. When you get complacent in anything in life, I guess, that's sort of when you fail. But I don't think that I'm complacent because I am acutely aware of how much better that I can become. Like when I listen to my favorite jazz pianists, I'm like, their fingers, I can't see them. They're moving so fast. I gotta be able to do that someday because I want to do that. So the only way to get there is to practice. When I look at Chopin Fantasy Impromptu or something like that, I'm like, I can't do that now, but someday I will do that and it's going to be awesome. So what helps you to keep practicing is you have goals, I guess you know what you want to be able to become, but also you just gotta like it a lot. And I really like music, and I kind of like practicing. I know people who don't, but I do.
I guess, I don't know, I tell myself to practice like an hour, like 3 times a week or whatever, and I just like tell myself I can only improve with practice, and I don't know, I just sort of make myself practice.
I like it.
I personally get a lot of happiness when I see other people, you know, reacting well to what I'm playing and stuff. So their reaction and praise helps me keep going.
I just always want to get better. What motivated me, here's an interesting story, what motivated me to get better at the trumpet was that my brother, who was a violinist until the summer before 6th grade, he wanted to become a trumpet player, and that was after all the countless times they told me I was annoying when I was playing on the trumpet when I was just learning. And so he had to use my instrument and everything, and I was absolutely furious, and I would always criticize him, and I always wanted to be better than him. So when he took up the trumpet, that really motivated me to get better than him, because we're competitive.
Definitely my music teacher, because she always says like the kind of success she's had with music, and I kind of relate to her.
Giving up never really occurred to me while I was doing this. It just didn't seem like something I was willing to get rid of.
I have actually recently. I was in a dilemma between like whether if I should quit music or tennis team, because I do both, and doing both orchestra and tennis team is like pretty hard. It's a lot of time commitment for both, but I decided to quit tennis team instead because I feel like music is my biggest passion, and I want to like continue that in my life.
I have thought of that. Like last year, last school year. I don't know why, but I wasn't that enthusiastic about it. I mean, I liked the piano a lot, but I was like, for some reason, I just felt like I was like at a down point with my practicing and my playing. I felt like sort of a failure because I wasn't really going anywhere with any of my pieces. And then I have felt like giving up, but then you think and you're like, well, I've been playing this long, I might as well go on because that's a lot of time to throw away, so just keep going.
No, I don't ever think of giving up because it's such a wonderful thing to know how to do, and yeah, I really enjoy being able to play certain things and bring people together.
Sometimes I feel like having a break from lessons, but that's usually because of the teacher and not the instrument. I've never felt like giving up guitar or trombone.
No, not really.
No, definitely not.
No.
No, I would never think of giving up. I don't understand why people would give up instruments because it's so beautiful and it's so fun to be a part of music. I've had a lot of nice friends. I have lots of people through music. I've learned an awful lot, and I express myself in new ways, I guess. So I would never give that up. My brother, he's a great trumpet player, but he wants to give up the piano because he wants to focus on trumpet. And I can see where he's coming from because he's not leaving music, he just wants to focus on one instrument. But I still tell him, you should keep playing piano because it's another way of thinking about music. It's like knowing multiple languages. They say that people who speak multiple languages, they keep their minds sharp and they don't get Alzheimer's as much. So it's the same way with instruments. You can be great at one instrument, but it's even better if you can do multiple instruments, because it's another way of looking at it.
Why do I continue to play? I continue to play because I've worked so hard already, and I'm at a place where I actually know how to play things, and I continue to play because my love of music and of pop songs. Like I'm just learning to explore so many new different types of music, and so I play to just keep up with my love for music.
I play because I like to, and it makes people around me happy, and it makes me happy.
Well, because I've done it for such a long time, and I've gotten better at it, and I like how I sound. It's fun, it's entertaining, it's relaxation, basically.
Because I'm good at it and I enjoy it.
I keep playing because it's fun and I like being able to do things and challenging myself.
I continue to play the viola because it helps me not only improve my life, but also help me grow as a musician. And I feel like everyone should play an instrument sometime in your life, because music is a part of our lives that everyone needs. So I'm definitely gonna continue playing viola for a long time, in college or even further in life.
Because I feel like if I quit, then it'll go back to being hard to express my feelings.
How do I continue to play? I love playing music, and I keep doing it. Just, I guess, I probably answered this in a lot of other questions, but I have to say it again. I do it because I love it. Nobody makes me play music, but I do it because I love it. It's something that I can work towards for myself. I don't have to. It's great to have lessons. It's great to do that. But at the end of the day, it comes down to you, and you determine how good you can be at this. You can practice. You can listen. You can compose and stuff, and you can get better, which is nice. But then it's also, in essence, it's a creative thing. At the end of the day, and I'm sick of taking tests and doing homework and stuff, and I can sit down and play music. I can mess around on the keyboard, write a tune, and I can play classical music. I can work on my technique with Hendon. I can play Chopin or Debussy or Bach or any of those guys, and that's relaxing for me. It's also rewarding. It's a part of my identity, but it also it makes me happy, which is nice.
Because I love it. It's like a part of me.